This is a channeling from Adama on the power of community and synergy. Now, as usual, I would like to begin this channeling by defining our two terms, in this case, community and synergy. Now, for all intents and purposes in this channeling, the word community will be referred to, or will be used to refer to the connection between a group of people who are in a similar location or of a similar mind. And occasionally they may share a hobby. However, that is more of a social memory complex, and we will not use community to refer to this term in this channeling. Now, as for synergy, synergy is the use of two or more energies together towards a common outcome. So, for example, if myself and Marlena both wished to turn the sky purple, and we both put both of our efforts towards this at the same time, this would be a synergistic effort towards turning the sky purple. Now, of course, this is merely used as a lighthearted example, for one may not turn the sky purple by mere intention alone. But that being said, that is indeed a good example of synergy. Now, as stated in previous channelings, one may indeed have increased abilities to experience intimacy with people with whom they have a divine relationship. And for example, these divine relationships include soulmates, twin flames, galactic families, blood families, soul contracts, etc. However, one may experience increased levels of community with these same people as well. Now, that being said, one may experience a feeling of community or acquaintanceship, as it is called in English, or as it is sometimes called in English, with those with whom they do not have a divine relationship. So that means that the local barista at your favorite coffee shop may not have a soul contract with you, but you may indeed see her every single day, and she may be a part of your community. Similarly, the old man who's always on the treadmill and smiles at you as you walk past in the gym may also be of your community as well, as long as he's not doing so creepily, of course. But that being said, as I have said before, there are a few different types of community. Now, one of these types of community is that of your physical location, and those are the two examples that I have just given are indeed examples of your physical locational community. And some other examples of this community may be your neighbor 3 doors down whose dog really gets along with your dog. So occasionally they'll do a quick little play sesh while you guys are walking down the street, and then you'll both continue on with your merry lives. So indeed, one who you consider an acquaintance may be of your community. And indeed, this may include co-workers with whom you do not have a close relationship. However, I would like to note that if you find yourself learning a lot of lessons from a particular coworker or are frequently triggered by this coworker, it may indeed be that you have some sort of a soul contract with this person. However, that is not always the case. Your personalities may just clash, and this will depend on each individual in their own incarnations. Now, the bonds of community are indeed a form of divine bond or divine relationship. However, they are not of the same nature of the divine relationships previously mentioned, and that is why we did not include them in the lesson or in the initial lesson about divine relationships. Now, one who has a communal relationship, if you will, or a relationship of the community, or perhaps an acquaintanceship is a good way to put it, with another, may find that they may experience, one may find ease in extending energetic or engaging in energetic communication with these people in their community. For as I have just said, it is indeed a sort of watered down, if you will, form of the divine bonds mentioned in the previous channeling. Now, I say this because in one's community, one may have increased capacity for synergetic work. And the perhaps three most common forms of synergistic work that may be accomplished with the use of one's community is synergistic healing, synergistic manifestation, and synergistic prayer. And I will indeed dive deeper into each of these types of synergy. However, first I would like to dive deeper into the nature of synergy and how it may amplify these endeavors. Now, of course, it may be a simple mathematics game, as you say, where, much like the frequent saying, 2 is better than 1, or 5 is better than 1, or 22 or 27 is better than 1, just to throw out random numbers. However, this is indeed due to a more subtle phenomenon, and that is the phenomenon of resonance. For when one resonates at the same frequency as another, the strength of their resonance increases, and it allows them to not only increase the magnetism of this resonance, but also the capability of this resonance to call in other frequencies of that same resonance or of similar resonances and alter those frequencies of similar resonance to this same resonance. So a good example of this is indeed the metronomes. So for example, if you have two metronomes that are going the same speed and you put a third metronome next to these two metronomes, and the third metronome is going at a different speed, then eventually this third metronome will sync up to the speed of the two original metronomes. Now, on a more quantum level, if you will, this is forming a more intense toroidal field, and this is a form of perhaps creating a bridge between the Merkabas of two or more beings. So when one engages in a meditation with one common intention, then their toroidal fields may act as a sort of positive feedback loop where each one continually powers the other. And when one may falter, the other may pick up the slack, if you will, and allow for the efforts to be eased on both parties, but the product of the intention to be amplified. And this may be compared to the analogy of having a cart pulled by one horse versus the same cart pulled by two horses. For indeed the horses may have less struggle pulling the cart, and they may also move quicker with less strain than the initial cart being pulled by one horse. Now, as I have said previously, previously in other channelings, one may increase these frequencies of resonance by creating an energetic bridge from one to the other, or perhaps to the group as a whole. And it may be recommended to use a quartz crystal or a various other high vibrational crystal to act as a sort of conduit for this, for it is indeed much easier for one to connect their own energy to one location as opposed to, say, 5 if you are in a group of 5 people. And if one decides to engage in this form of synergy with a group of 5 people, they may take a large, or perhaps not a large, but a piece of quartz or crystal of their choosing and place it in the center of their group. And each individual group may meditate upon the common desired outcome and picture energy from their heart chakra traveling through the crystal. And one may ask higher guidance for aid in dispersing this energy to the proper sources. For indeed, this is the most difficult and nuanced form of manifestation, healing, or prayer. However, this is perhaps not as much so the case for prayer, unless you are praying to one specific being. However, if that is the case, then you may call in that being to withdraw the energy directly from the crystal themselves. So, for example, if you are praying that Yeshua aid one of the beings in the circle with healing, then you may not only have a being holding space for Yeshua to perform this energetic offering on the more physical level, or perhaps in the third dimension is a better way to say this, but you may also have the rest of the group who are meditating and sending this energy in the crystal to aid Yeshua in this endeavor. For indeed, sometimes there is only a certain amount of energy that one's body may, shall we say, host in these circumstances. And if one is receiving energetic healing from a being of higher frequencies, then part of their energy body is present in yours. And this is indeed the nature of MDLT, which, for those who are not familiar, stands for multidimensional divine light transmission, and is a practice in which Marlena has been participating for perhaps the last year or so. And for those who are curious, please indeed do reach out to the channel, for she will get you in contact with the person with whom she engages in this. And indeed, there are free group offerings of this being offered on the third Sunday of every month at Cosmic Connections in Nashville, if you so desire to attend these in person and experience this form of synergistic healing in the first person. However, this is merely one form of communal synergy, and there are many, many others. And indeed, this is the form of communion that Yeshua was encouraging the people of Earth to engage in his teachings that have been bastardized over the many years. Now, this is a more energetic form of communion than Yeshua was encouraging. However, it is still communion nonetheless, for communion may be considered a sharing of space or energy with another in a loving and kind manner. And perhaps gratuitous is another good word for this manner in which communion is taken. For indeed, Yeshua would be rolling over in his grave at the common communion of Mass in the Catholic Church. However, his physical body is not on earth, so that is not possible. You gotta explain your jokes, of course. But that being said, I would like to now delve further into a form of synergy that we will call synergistic healing. Now, energetic healing may be done on an individual level, but the synergistic level is more of an interpersonal level. However, it is interpersonal on the energy body level. So one may say that telepathy is a form of synergy, for indeed it is. However, it is a more internal form of synergy, for one is not sending energy outside of them. They are creating energy inside, or perhaps not creating, they are exchanging energy inside of them. And it is more of a closed environment. However, with this kind of group synergy where one is healing, manifesting, or praying, they are actively sending energy from themselves either into the ether or into a being directly. Now, one may engage in synergistic healing directly with a group of people where each person in a group, say of 5, is directing their energy to one person in the group. So there are 5 givers and 1 recipient. However, this is perhaps not something that will occur frequently on Earth for a few years yet to come, merely for a lack of people who are able to perform this form of energy healing. And for those who are not aware, the form of energy healing to which I refer is passing green light from one's body into another's body. And for more information on this, please refer to previous channelings done on this topic. But as I have said with the previous example with Yeshua and the crystal, and the example of MDLT, this is another form of energetic healing in this way. However, the recipient need not be there in person. So say, for example, if your friend lives in North Dakota and cannot travel to you, but you and a group of your friends here wish to aid in an energy healing session, you may sit a crystal in front of you and perform this same endeavor with the intention of sending it to your friend. And it may help to engage in a video call with them, so that way you may converse back and forth about any experiences you may have. However, this is not necessary, and it will just add to your visceral experience of this endeavor. But that being said, there are indeed many, many, many other ways to accomplish energetic healing in a synergistic fashion, and the limits are our imaginations. So if you concoct a method of synergistic healing that you wish to try and you have a group of willing participants, I encourage you to try it. And if you find yourself hesitating on this path, you may, as always, invite in myself along with any other guides or higher beings to aid in your path and in this endeavor. And indeed, synergistic healing may work in a more communal way as well. Or perhaps not communal way, perhaps communal way, indeed, in more of the political definition of communal. Communal healing can be done. So say, for example, you have a group of 5 people and all 5 of you wish to engage in energetic healing individually. You may come together and each engage in your own form of energetic healing and know that your toroidal fields, being in the presence of these other people's toroidal fields, will amplify the energy being present. So it is sort of like, what is a good analogy for this? I cannot think of a good analogy for this. However, know that it is a positive feedback loop, and know that being around another's toroidal field amplifies the capabilities of your own. And the more people are present near you who are activating their toroidal fields and Merkabas, then the easier you will find it is to amplify your own energy field and Merkaba. And indeed, one may engage in the previous example of the crystal with this individual form of healing as well. So say, for example, if all 5 people wish to engage in their own individual healing and they wish to work with a common guide, or perhaps on occasion even guides, plural, then they may funnel their energy into this common crystal, or the central crystal, and then their guides may siphon off this energy to aid them in this energetic healing process. However, this is a more individualistic form of synergistic healing, but it is still considered synergistic healing. But that being said, I would now like to move on to manifestation and prayer. Now, manifestation and prayer may be considered similar. However, they may also be considered different. And there is much overlap between their official definitions. However, their explicit definitions, shall we say. However, for the intents and purposes of this channeling, we shall differentiate them by saying that prayer is Let me define manifestation first, for I wish to use the word manifestation in the definition of prayer. So manifestation is the act of aligning one's vibrational frequency with the vibrational frequency of that which they want, and through this process attracting that which it is they want. Wow, that was a very French phrasing there. Indeed, if one has noticed that I am quite verbose in my syntax and semantics, it is indeed because I have a very strong French influence on my English language. For I find many parallels between the languages of French and English, and I learned French first. But that is neither here nor there, as you say. Now, manifestation, as I have said, is one matching their vibrational frequency to that which it is they would like to manifest. So one may not manifest anything from a state of lack. So if you are constantly thinking about the missing spot in your life where that thing would be, then you will never manifest that thing. You must fill that spot with love and compassion, and know that it will come to you when the time is right. But also know that you may alter when the right time is by doing your own internal work to match your vibrational frequency to the frequency of the desired outcome. So I have previously given this example, but it suffices here as well, so I will use it again. For example, if one finds themselves in a state of financial poverty, then they may wish to manifest monetary abundance in their life. However, first they must do a deep dive into their own psyche to determine if they have any wounds, be they energetic, physical, emotional, etc., spiritual even, surrounding financial wealth and money. And keep in mind that these wounds may be from a past life as well as your current life. And they may also be a generational wound or an ancestral trauma, if you will. So hold space for yourself in working through these, for these are very important things to work through. However, they may be quite difficult and pose quite a few obstacles at times, but the endeavor will be worth it. For once one has fully worked through all of these energetic blockages, they may find themselves aligning with the vibrational frequency of that which they desire, which is, in this case, financial gain. And they may find themselves coming into a new promotion or even a new job. However, be aware that the world works in mysterious ways, and when you are aligning yourself with these vibrational frequencies, you must first purge yourself of the lower vibrational frequencies. So, for example, if you are trying to manifest monetary wealth and your current job is keeping you in a state of financial poverty, then you may first lose your job before the universe gives you the dream job that you never could have even imagined, that will pay you more money than you could ever even spend. And indeed, this is the way of the universe, for she must test your faith before she delivers. And as the common phrase is, ask, believe, receive, and trust that even after you have asked for an outcome, no matter how chaotic things may get, it will all turn out in the highest and best good. And indeed, that is another teaching of Yeshua that the Christian church has bastardized. However, that is a slight digression, and perhaps a topic for another night if one so desires. And that was the collective one in that case, not just like a particular one. But that being said, prayer is the manifestation of an outcome for a being other than oneself. So, for example, if you have a sibling who is going through a rough time and you wish to manifest clarity for them, then you may pray for them in this way. And that is the only difference between manifestation and prayer. So prayer is a form of manifestation, but manifestation is not a form of prayer, similar to the square and rectangle situation in geometry. But that being said, one may go about these endeavors in a very similar way, for their nature is almost identical. Now, when one wishes to manifest a specific outcome, as I have said, they must first work through their inner turmoil and their inner discrepancies and vibrational dissonance between themselves and this desired outcome. However, if they've worked through all of these wounds and find themselves still not achieving their manifestation goals, then they may incite the help of higher guidance. And indeed, I, Adama, may assist you in any manifestation endeavors that you so desire. And one way to do this is to merely ask us. So as this channel frequently does, she will say, "Hey Spirit," or something to that effect, to let the collective and the energy know that she is addressing a being outside of herself. However, it is not a specific one. And she will ask for whatever it is that she would desire, or express her intention to align with a certain frequency. And then she may ask for assistance in this endeavor. And indeed, you may put boundaries on this. So, for example, if you would like to manifest monetary wealth, to go back to our previous example, but you could not go through the stress of losing your job right now, you may indeed ask the universe for a workaround in this way, for she appreciates that kind of forethought and that kind of self-awareness. And she may be inclined to oblige you. However, do note that if the desired outcome is impossible, given your current boundaries that you stated, then you may not achieve the desired outcome. For indeed, you must give some sort of a sacrifice for each manifestation, be it a sacrifice of time or energy or stress or whatever the sacrifice may be. For all is a give and take, and all is in balance in the universe. And there is just as much light as there is dark. But of course, that being said, one may always choose to align themselves with the light. And that is recommended, especially given the current state of affairs on Earth. But that being said, if one wishes to engage in a more synergistic form of manifestation or prayer, then they may do so in a group of people. And of course, one may use a crystal, as previously stated, to aid in this endeavor, and each individual from the group may send the shared intention into the crystal, and then the intended being or a being or spirit may hear this message and seek to aid the beings of the group or whomever they are praying for in this endeavor. And they may use the energy of the intentions being stored in the crystal towards this endeavor. And this may act as the sort of sacrifice, if you will. So perhaps the more energy one may pour into this, the more effect they may have. However, this may depend purely on the probability of this outcome coming to pass, and also the probability of this outcome not coming to pass. And indeed, this is quite a sinewy battle to articulate this message, for manifestation is a very deep and interwoven topic or interconnected topic, and will require perhaps an hour-long channeling just on its own to cover the basics of it. And indeed, that is my plan for the next channeling, which may happen tomorrow night or the next night, depending on the channel's energy levels. However, I am planning on tomorrow night. But that being said, one may also manifest or pray by sending their energy up their crown chakra and into the ether, and know that if there is a group of people doing this, their location need not be the same, or they may not need to be in the same location, because, as I have said in previous channelings, time and space are merely illusions. So the more people you have praying for a specific outcome, the more likely it will come to pass. However, note that if the people are not in the same location, they may not experience the strengthening of their toroidal fields from being in the physical presence of other toroidal fields. However, this may not be the case for all, and if you are able to engage in a video chat with people, know that this will increase your ability to access the other's toroidal fields and reap the benefits of synergy. And you may also note that if you wish to charge a specific crystal or a specific set of crystals and give them to each of the individuals in the group, this may also increase synergy, for it will act as a sort of energetic beacon between each individual person, and they may find their energies to be more connected and therefore more strengthened in this way. For energy does indeed increase in an exponential rate, meaning that the more energy is gained, the quicker that one gains energy. So for example, if one has, say for example, 1 unit of power by themselves, if they are with another person, then they will have 2 units of power. And if they are with 3 people, then they will have 4 units of power. And if they are with 5 people, then they will have whatever 2 to the power of 5 is. Math is not this channel's strong suit. Neither are numbers. But that being said, that is a slight drawback or a slight hindrance to prayer not being, or to synergistic prayer not occurring in the same place, or synergistic manifestation not occurring in the same place. However, please note that the effects will still be amplified, just not at the exponential rate. However, that is all we have for tonight, for the channel is tired, for this is the second channeling that she has done today. However, the first channeling she did today will not be posted, for that occurred during the MDLT session, and she forgot to record it. Sorry about that. But as always, it was a pleasure. Toodaloo.